It is the Riot podcast. It's Friday.
Oh, doesn't it feel good? Let it wash all over you. Now, it might not actually be Friday when you're listening to it, but just remember back to a Friday and let it wash all over you.
Remember that time when you were free and you were excited about Friday? Think about that.
It could be a Saturday when you're watching this, the day after we did this. Let it wash over you.
Whatever it is. Hey, I will tell you, this weekend you could catch up on some Riot stuff. You know, we had some food fights.
We did.
That's at riot.radiou.com. S'mores Oreos, Pop-Tarts Splits. We also interviewed Michael from Danger Scene.
Yep, that's in this podcast.
It is. Now, you can hear it, or if you want to see it, or you want to do both. You sit there with your phone and whatever, trying to sync it up with a YouTube video. I mean, you don't have a lot to do this weekend. Why not, right?
You're fine. You can find that through riot.radiou.com. That's on our RadioU Riot YouTube channel and Facebook page for Michael from Danger Scene. But he's in this podcast. We talk new music. They got a new song out called Poison.
Mm-hmm. So in the podcast today, we spent some time talking about Mortal Kombat and our game night.
And I'm glad we had all that time together to talk about it. And hopefully you guys have some ideas when we talk about our upcoming Riot Live game night.
We talk Mother's Day, Captain Marvel, Skull Candy Earpods, It 2, Avengers, and I think that's all.
Now you're like, that's not a lot. Well, we talked a lot about video games, so I think that really stretches out more than you think it's going to be.
Let me see. I don't know how long the podcast will be today, but it looks like we've got, it's about normal.
Well, if you have any ideas when you hear us talk about our upcoming game night, please go ahead and text us, 877-2-RADIO-U. Just put your podcast listener in your suggestion or message us on Facebook. We'll get it there, too.
All right. Anything else you
enjoy? Remember the wash all over you?
Let it wash.
Because now we're going to the podcast and it's starting now and we're going to just keep washing all over us.
Keep washing. Wash, wash, wash. It is the Riot.
You're listening to the worst of the Riot.
Today sucks.
Radio U.
So yesterday afternoon, Nikki and I were talking. We're trying to plan our next Riot Live event. If you don't know what that is, that's where you can see us streaming on Facebook or Twitter.
We do an evening show.
Just on Facebook. And we usually do that at 9 Eastern. So we were looking at dates for it, but we were also looking for what we wanted to do. So we settled on the idea. At first, it was like, hey, let's do another board game or card game.
What is the one we played last summer? Was it? Oh, Ticket to Ride. Oh, my gosh. You guys loved that when we played it with Hudson.
Uh-huh.
But I couldn't find another board game at first glance. So I thought, well, let's play a video game.
So then we're looking through video games to play. And Nikki's like, I really think we should do Mortal Kombat. I really think we should. And I'm like,
I still stand by that, but I don't know after watching some of the, Mortal Kombat 11, if it's the right.
Well, we start talking about it. I'm like, Nikki, I don't think that's going to be something that, people of all ages are going to be able to enjoy. And she's like, no, it's fine because people get it.
Like it's violent in a different way. It's like so outrageous that it doesn't even like compute that that's what you're watching.
And then I hear, oh my gosh!
I watched some game footage.
Oh, we can't do this. We can't. No, that's not even right. They can't do that.
In Mortal Kombat, what's it called? Like the kill things?
Fatalities.
The fatalities. And so I watched some of the best fatalities.
Yeah.
And
you and I wouldn't know how to do those.
There was one where they took one and like he slammed the character against the wall and then just took off the front part of their skin and their organs all floated out. And that's the one where I was like, okay, fine. I don't think we can all play this together.
This is apparently not an all-ages game.
Maybe if we promise not to do that to each other in the game, then it wouldn't be so violent.
Do they have any of the, what do they call them, the friendship moves?
Yeah.
Or the babalities?
So we could still look at it if we could tone down the violence based on our gameplay.
Yeah, it's fine.
But if not, I think we need to go with like a Nintendo or something that's a little bit sweeter of a game.
Something that's a little nicer, you say?
Yeah, so if anybody has any good ideas on what you think we should do for our next Riot Live event. Are you watching some of the fatalities?
Oh, my gosh.
Told you.
How did they even come? Okay, I feel like I'm your mom or, watching it. Like, where did they even come up with this stuff?
Like this? I know.
These people are sick.
I know, but it's fun to play. I can't help but liking that game.
Oh, my God.
See, that's what I was doing yesterday.
What?
Yes.
What? They should be ashamed. They should be ashamed.
Coming up with all that.
That is insane.
So unless we can tinker with some of that, that's a pass probably
gonna
for
have
Mortal
to pass.
Kombat. But again, if someone else comes up with a slightly more friendlier game, video game, we can look at playing. And it has to be something that moves along enough.
Right.
Like, we can't just be sitting there just scrolling.
One of the things that Nikki and I thought is maybe Overcooked or Overcooked 2. I recently got a round of Overcooked in, and I was surprised by how much fun that actually was.
That could be good.
Yeah. And it could also result in the end of a friendship. I don't know.
So that's what we're looking for.
Dude, I should probably, it's probably wrong that I'm laughing at these fatalities because I'm only laughing as a form of protection.
Of it being so absurd. That's the only reason why you laugh at it.
It's so crazy that it's like you want to meet the people that came up with this idea. Like, what are you doing?
And why is this how you're doing it?
Okay.
Hey, let's close it out. It's a lot to handle in the morning.
I actually want to get my coffee and just keep watching.
We want to make sure you're comfortable. You get down and sit down and watch the rest.
With virtual reality, the possibilities are endless. It gives us the ability to live out any of our wildest dreams. So maybe we can use it to pretend the riot doesn't exist. The Riot on RadioU.
So, Nikki, would you be interested in perhaps a double showing of Avengers Endgame, followed by or preceded by, and I'll give you the option of Titanic?
Ooh. What theater is doing that?
Well, the one that is at my house.
Oh, a home theater?
Yeah.
That would be such a long time.
So yesterday it became official. Avengers Endgame has now made more money than Titanic.
Even adjusted for inflation, they're just saying, well, I guess it doesn't make sense. Never mind.
They don't really
They're not caring about that.
No, but one could say, Nikki, that the Avengers sunk the Titanic.
It's too soon.
Still too soon?
Still too soon.
Still too soon. Okay. I mean, we're past 100 years, but still.
All Titanic needs to do is just come out again. Like, they always put it out in theaters every so many years.
Do you think you could get people to go see Titanic? I mean, what is that movie?
I didn't think you could do it the first time or the second time or like the third time.
That movie's more than 20 years old, right? It was like 1998.
I'll just shake my head and said, yes, it sounds like about it.
Yeah. So, yes, the Avengers did, in fact, sink the Titanic. And, in fact, James Cameron tweeted out a little piece of art that shows the Titanic running up against a huge A.
Oh, for Avengers?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And, I mean, I guess it's tasteful.
So are we just saying that, yes, Avengers will eventually easily be the number one movie of all time?
Well, remember, the thing that it has to beat now is Avatar.
Yeah, but, I mean, this hasn't even... It's just a couple of weeks out. It still have a long, healthy life at the box office. And then won't it count digital release too and everything?
No,
or is it just box office?
It'll just be box office. But you are right. Today, it's only been 2 weeks.
So it's got plenty of time.
It has lots of time to do this. So one of the things, I mean, it's not in the article. I'm just speculating. But if I remember correctly, like one of the big hooks with Avatar was that it did so well internationally.
Sure.
And it was one of the first American movies to do that kind of gangbusters deals overseas, like especially, I believe Avatar ran in China. And remember, that wasn't always a thing. American movies didn't get Chinese releases. So
could be even for Avengers Endgame, it might not be released everywhere yet.
It is in China.
Other countries too.
Right. So I don't know if there's still, I don't know the answer to that, but I do know this. They got their eyes on Avatar. And should I say it? I can't stand Avatar.
That's not a secret. You've said that before.
And
you wouldn't mind Avengers winning that.
The idea of Avengers unseating Avatar, I'm in favor of that.
Favor enough to go see it again, they say?
Sure.
Okay, you'll have to see it a couple more times.
I'll vote with my dollars.
Recycling paper is like planting a tree. Recycling the riot is like burning down the rainforest.
We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Okay, Nikki, what I'm about to do may be unfair and it might die on the table.
Sure.
But
You're going to try?
Well, yeah, because the question is, and it's contained in the question, right now, what could you talk about for 30 minutes with no prep?
With no prep?
Like, what do you know well enough that I just said, all right, Nikki, you've got 30 minutes, go?
Radio U. Here, the riot.
That's fair.
You.
That's fair.
Everything in here.
Okay.
I could do that.
All right. Okay. What about, like, let's move out. I'm taking God and Radio U off the table because I could do like a God thing, like like whatever for days.
Chicken nuggets, chicken tenders, food, Chinese food, food. We could talk about food for 30 minutes, like the food that we like and the things that we don't like.
I feel like I could talk about Star Trek.
Yeah.
For 30 minutes, Star Wars for 30 minutes, radio certainly because it's what we do. What else can I talk about?
It seems like it's entertainment or food.
Yeah, I could talk about video games to a certain extent. Man, like, what do you know? This all of a sudden you're just like, this kind of sucks. I feel like I could do.
I don't like the pressure that I feel now.
But my undergrad was in communications. I feel like I could probably give you 30 minutes on communications, like theory and basic models and things like that. I think I could do that. American history,
sure.
I could do. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you have that one.
And because I wrote this paper in college on Locke's treatises of government that was, I don't know when I've gotten so sucked in by just a piece of information. We could talk about that. John Locke and what was it? Thomas Paine's, was it Common Sense? I think it was. Like all of that together, we could talk about that.
Now, I don't know if people would like to listen to any of that.
No, I'm not saying.
What can you talk about?
Nobody said it would be something that you would want to know about. But I'm just telling you that, like, I think that's something I could do.
Is there a competition or something?
No,
or are you just curious about it?
It's a question on Twitter. Like, what could you talk about for 30 minutes? And, like, right now, just go. And so...
Surprise, guys. We have a new format for the morning show.
Yeah.
Obi will be going first.
All right. I don't know if it's...
Yeah,
bears.
Sean, good idea. I could talk about bears totally for 30 minutes.
See?
Absolutely. All the different types, where they're at, what I've seen, bear tours that I've been on. Look at that. It just all comes out, doesn't it?
Or if nothing else, just 30 minutes on how cute they are.
Right.
Hi.
I'm going to be ranking them.
Like, is this on? Hello. Bears are the cutest in the world.
Here's my 30 minutes on why I think that.
And also, we're going to talk about which bears are the cutest of the bears.
Thank you, Sean. I completely forgot about that. I could just say animals in general, dogs, cats, all the things that I like.
Okay. Dan says he could talk about bass fishing for more than 30 minutes.
Well, Dan, if that opportunity ever comes up, you're first on the list to get on in here and do that.
Well, the thing I love about it, too, is that if you think about it, it probably reveals a lot about yourself, what you love and what you're actually into. And then it also reveals the stuff that the other people in your life don't want to hear anything about. Because
you've kept it in?
Well, yeah.
You can just come pouring out?
When I think of what I could talk about for 30 minutes, I imagine topics that nobody I know wants to hear anything about.
I know. And you get so excited because you're like, wait a minute, I could talk about it.
Listen, do you want to hear?
Well, Dan, we like I said, first time we ever get an opening for bass fishing. We know nothing about that, so that'd be fascinating.
Well, Nikki, I'm going to botch this, but the old saying is, if you want me to talk for an hour, I'm ready now. If you want me to talk for 10 minutes, I'll need an hour.
Oh, to get prepared?
Yeah, and if you want me to talk for... No, wait. It's like if you want me to talk for an hour, I'll need 5 minutes. If you want me to talk for 5 minutes, I'll need an hour when it comes to prep time.
Sure.
So, like, the shorter your talk, the longer you need to prep. I don't know. So, Leah says she could go on and on about the silly things she hears at preschool.
Oh, because she works at a preschool. That's cute.
You're right.
Just that she's heard this school year.
To be clear, I might be more interested in that than anything I've heard so far.
That seems like you should start a Facebook group or a Twitter feed of all the things you've heard.
Things I heard at preschool.
The Riot's motto, Carpe Cupcake. Those are words to live by. Radio U.
So Nikki and I, did you watch it yesterday? Nikki and I apparently spend our days watching very disturbing things on YouTube.
It's just how it is.
So yesterday we were trying to figure out what game we wanted to play on the internet for a Riot Live event, and we were watching a bunch of Mortal Kombat 11 fatalities.
It's just what you do when you got time.
Little did I know, 5 minutes later, I'd watched the trailer for the new It movie.
You watched it, but then I watched it later.
That was disturbing.
I think so, too. I never saw the first It, and then I never saw the remake of the It.
I saw the really, really old one that's
Stephen
like 3
King,
hours long.
The original one?
Yeah, I saw that. But the one that came out last summer, was it?
Or the summer before? Which one? Yeah.
Listen, guys, I got to tell you, I can't.
You won't. You don't need to.
I don't. You know what? You're right. I don't have to. I could. I could.
I like red balloons. And I don't want there to be any attachment to it with
Anything
some clown
bad.
thing or some mean thing. I could talk for 30 minutes about balloons. I love the things. And I don't want there to be some weird thing down hallways where I can't sit next to an older lady and then not worry about it being all the scary stuff.
Well, I will tell you right now, what I saw last night, I was...
The trailer.
It bothered me a
People
little bit.
seem to really like it, though. It was trending everywhere, obviously.
Well, yeah, but it was another one of those, gangbuster movie things where it made the first It made tons and tons of money, and now they're like, well, and remember, they always said there would be a sequel because it's the rest of the story.
Yes, they did. They were pretty transparent about that.
So it's not like It 3 is coming. They're doing that one and this one, and then that's it. But yeah, I'm... Just no way.
The trailer felt fulfilling enough. That was it. I got it all. I don't need to watch anymore.
The thing I'll have to say, the trailer was kind of a masterpiece in and of itself because it's one scene, really. And they very, very slowly ratchet up the tension. Hey, did I just see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The lady in the background.
Wait,
just down the hallway.
What about that? What about that? And they keep doing these little things where you're like, uh-oh. And then they're like, by the way, it's the worst.
And now I don't like flies. I mean, I didn't like flies to begin with, but flies are just a sign of bad.
Yeah, so I'm just...
Is that out this year, or when is it supposed to be?
It's out this fall, right?
This fall?
Yeah. So, I mean, you can just go ahead. The nice thing about that is that just opens up a weekend for me. Sometimes you're like, I got to get to the movies. I got to see blank. That's a weekend where I don't have to worry about getting in the theater because I cannot watch that.
Sure, and none of my friends like it either, so it's not like I'm getting pressured into that weekend seeing it. It should be good and clear.
Yeah. So, you know what? Actually, that's a good point, Nikki. When everybody's like, why aren't you watching it? What's wrong with you? Are you a fraidy cat? And or they use other unkind words. Just know that you can be like, you know what? Obadiah said I don't have to.
I don't have to see it if I don't want to.
And he's not watching it either because he's a fraidy cat. And we're fraidy cats together.
You can totally use all of our names if you want.
Don't you worry about it.
We just have to find something else to go watch that weekend.
That's right. Something that the whole family can enjoy without nightmares.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be that way.
I just don't want to have any bad dreams, okay?
The Riot was this close from becoming the absolute worst morning show in radio. Yep. They can't even win at losing. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Here I have details from a report released by the Entertainment Software Association about video games in the United States. And I will tell you that the video game industry is not what you think it is these days. We always have these jokes about some fat guy in his mom's basement who has no friends, who never play. That's not really what video games actually look like these days.
Players of video games, or what do you mean?
So here we go. Your average video game player in the United States is 33 years old and plays games on their smartphone. And they spend big on content. Now, I don't have the exact number there, but they spent 20% more this year than they did last year and 85% more than in 2015.
Whoa, that's a big increase.
When it comes to smartphone games, we spent 85% more money in 2018 than we did in 2015.
But I think the reason for that is back in 2015, games were either purchasing or free. But now they're freemiums, and you have so many in-app purchases that gameplay is completely different.
It's interesting. $43.4 billion was spent in the United States on video games in 2018. 65% of U.S. adults over the age of 18 play video games. That's 164 million people. 60% of them play games on their smartphones. So, that to me is interesting to see. Just really where people play video games
is on your phone.
Is on their phone. And a lot of people don't consider that. Now, girls between the ages of 18 and 34 preferred Candy Crush, Assassin's Creed, and Tomb Raider. Those were the top 3 games. Guys between the ages of 18 and 34 played God of War, Madden, and Fortnite.
Those are the ones?
Yeah. Now, if Gen X has a tendency, like their top games were Tetris, Pac-Man, Call of Duty, and Forza. So that's between the ages of 40 and 54. And then if you go even older, 55 to 64, Monopoly, Scrabble, Solitaire. But
mine is not to play any of those then.
well, but you think about it though.
Those are just the easy entry level ones that they would like.
That you can play on your phone.
Yeah.
And probably the board games that they played when they were kids, kind of a thing. So it just goes to show you that people who play video games are getting older, and it's just going to get more and more normal as time goes on. But I'm fascinated by the idea. A lot of people who play games on their phone don't think of themselves as gamers. But as far as the industry's concerned, you're a gamer and apparently an enormous source of revenue.
You're more than like, when you see the 14, 15 and you expect them all they do is play Fortnite or this or that. But you're actually clocking in more time.
Oh, yeah. Candy Crush brings in way more money than almost any video game in the world. It's huge. It makes so much money. And so you might not think of yourself as a gamer, but let me tell you what you are. Man, go ahead and push those glasses up and
you're a gamer.
Snort away.
Congratulations.
Don't want to talk to the riot? We completely understand. Text instead. 877-2-RADIO-U.
Now, Nikki, are you ready to go back to Titanic? No, back to the moon.
To the moon?
Yeah.
Well, my feelings on that. But
yeah. Well, Blue Origin is going to the moon. Jeff Bezos, he's the Amazon guy.
Yeah.
They unveiled their quote-unquote, they're saying the event was a mysterious invite-only event, and they unveiled Blue Origin's lunar lander, the Blue Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So the deal is they say in 2024, Blue Origin is going to the moon.
To have so much money, what do? Apparently, when you do have that much, you do space stuff.
Okay, I don't want to be stupid about it, but this is something I've thought of a few times. These companies keep unveiling, like, we're going to the moon, we're going to the moon, we're going to the moon. All right. The blueprints still exist for the stuff that got us there the first time.
Yeah.
If you could just make that again. No, I'm not saying, okay.
Follow the plan that they did?
Exactly. Well, they had a plan in place,
sure.
Right? Didn't they have everything there? Don't we have guys that came back from the moon that successfully went there and went on the tour and all that stuff? So, theoretically, everything we need is already in place. You would just have to build it again. Now, we all know a good reboot takes pieces of the original and mixes it up.
It does, updates it, because it's been a while.
You get a different soundtrack, you get some new stars, et cetera, and I get that. Whoever the hot new director is, that's what you want in your reboot. Fine. But you go back to the original, the blueprints are there. No problem. Just go ahead and build yourself a Saturn V rocket. Boom.
Send it on up.
We're going to the moon. But I don't know. I guess they're working on something new called the BE-7. That's a new rocket engine that's going to carry them to the moon. It's going to be test firing this summer. But
will it be looking like the new Prime trucks from Amazon? For the delivery trucks?
Probably, yeah.
Have that same color scheme?
Yeah, probably. I think, wow, he also had a bunch of concept art drawn up for his visions of human colonization of the moon and eventually deep space.
Go ahead. Go ahead and do that.
It looks like a cross between the colonies and Gundam. You're not going to get that. Here's another reference you won't get. If you ever watched Star Trek Beyond, which was that third Star Trek movie they did with Nikki's man, Chris Evans.
Chris Pine?
Pine. Sorry. Wrong Chris.
All Chris's in our entertainment industry, though, are pretty fine.
They all look pretty good with their shirt off, I guess. But that space station they go to,
it looks
or
like
whatever,
that?
it looks like that. Yeah. So, man, Nikki, you getting on the blue moon.
Nope.
You're going.
I'm not.
Because they know when they see you up there, everybody's going to want to go.
Everybody's going to follow right after me. That is a pass.
I'm not so much mad about what they say. I'm mad that they think any of us want to hear it. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
So, a lot of people have been texting us. You can too, 877-2-RADIO-U. We were asking for video games that we could play on a live stream. We had started with Mortal Kombat, but...
as fun as we would have, sometimes...
Nikki and I think things are funny that other people don't think are funny, and in fact, cause other people to think that Nikki and I are sick.
Yes, pretty much. Our humor can just go one way sometimes, and it's pretty disturbing. But I think we're going to pass on Mortal Kombat 11 because of that.
Like, we saw this one fatality where, like, he ripped the guy's head off and he was beating him to death with his own head, and we were like,
because it's so absurd. It's not because there's something wrong with us.
We don't want it to happen in real life, but
we don't want it while we're doing our show.
In fake life, it just seemed funny to us.
It does. So we're doing a Facebook Live event. We're planning our next one, which will be later in June. And I think we're going to do a game night where we're going to stream with you guys where you can watch us play a video game. Now here comes the fun of trying to figure out a video game that works for everyone.
So Jason in Springfield says Yoshi's Crafted World, which is brand new on Switch. Zach says Knack, which is a game for the PlayStation 4, or Risk of Rain, which I'm not overly familiar with. Andrew says Overcooked would be a great option.
So I think we were leaning maybe towards Overcooked, too.
Yeah. Corinne says we could play Portal 2 co-op. Ken is suggested Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. That is actually a lot of fun.
So for Nintendo, like, we played Mario Galaxy. We played that on a stream already.
We did.
We tried, like, my first love is Mario, like, Galaxy 2, Super Mario. But we can't get that to work. It's too
painful
old.
Memories.
So, like, we can't stream that with you guys and have it actually work. We tried. So I don't know what else to do.
Samantha says live stream some classic World of Warcraft.
Never got
Samantha,
into that.
we appreciate you, but we're probably not going to do that one.
I want something light and fun and not boring for you guys to watch. So it's got to have some character to it. And that's why I thought Mortal Kombat would be best. But no!
Now, Nikki, it has everything.
It's light and fun?
It has everything you mentioned, except for the light part.
No, it does.
It's dark.
Lighthearted.
It's dark and fun, and it's light on hearts because I watched one explode earlier.
Yes, it came out. It's lighthearted.
This one was like this girl shot this red stuff into this guy's chest, and his heart exploded out of his chest, blowing chunks of bone out.
That's what would happen. See? It's medically correct.
As it went. It's like, wow.
We're learning.
What a thought.
So,
right?
It's very sad. I think it'd be quite funny for us to play that.
Okay. Well, hey, Nikki, you guys keep sending them. Nikki and I will keep vetting them and taking a look. Text us at 877-2-RADIO-U. Also, Olivia says throwback Minecraft.
We could do that. The classic one is, what is it, classic? If you just search classic Minecraft on a browser, you can play that now because they came out a few days ago releasing that.
There's World War Z, says Jason. I actually think you and I could have some fun with that, but I think it's probably too complicated.
Yeah, see, it's got to be easy.
Yeah, and
something
we need
you can
to
jump in,
and we need some couch co-op. We got to both be able to play that thing, so it can't like stretch across two consoles.
We're going
to
keep working on it. Just want to play something. What about an older Mortal Kombat game before it got too graphic?
We'd have to go way back.
What's the first one?
Like arcade, Mortal Kombat. But even then, people are like, this is too graphic.
No. We'll keep looking. We'll let you guys know when it comes closer, but later in June. So be prepared. Anytime we do special Riot live events, those are evening shows that we host online. You guys don't hear them on Radio U. You can check out Radio U or Radio U Riot on Facebook. So follow both those pages, or our YouTube channel. You can watch some of the old ones.
Okay.
One of the only things left that isn't owned by Disney. The Riot on Radio U.
Man, you all just got something to say, don't you?
Lots of good ideas.
So we were talking about whether we wanted to do video games or tabletop gaming for our game night that we're going to be doing next month. We've kind of leaned on video games, but Nikki, get a load of this. I got a text from, or a Facebook message from Jason.
Yeah.
He says that he does tabletop gaming. He says even a moderate interest gets really expensive really fast, but he actually does rule design for a company in return for game product.
What is it?
So, like, he designs rules and they send him stuff.
What's the rules?
rules.
Oh, just like he comes
For the
up with the
game.
games. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was the little action figure.
I feel like I learned a lot about you right there.
I don't follow them.
Rules?
What are those?
What are those
No,
things
I didn't know if that
they're
was a
for
gaming.
lesser people?
I didn't know if that was a gaming term.
Is that what you small people run your lives by, rules?
I don't have to live my life that way.
And also, the little guys that they paint are called miniatures or minis.
Sure, okay.
So if we want to make sure that we're being respectful
That's what we should call them?
of the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, crap. Maybe it's not hobby. Maybe it's lifestyle. Who knows?
Stop
And
saying things we don't know.
bottom line is everything you say is wrong.
Well, thank you, Jason, for texting us.
Yes. Now, we also got some more people getting in on game suggestions.
I think instead of a board game or a tabletop thing, I think I want to do a video game. So we're trying to find one that works with everybody's likes and dislikes.
Uh-huh.
So it's hard to find a game that will kind of match everybody.
All right, Nikki, what about Jason says Soulcalibur?
I looked it up. I like Mortal Kombat. That's something wrong of me, apparently, but I like...
You are a terrible person.
I like over-the-top, crazy, violent things when in my life I'm very sweet and not.
You make it, when you say it like that, it sounds even better.
I don't know why. I just do. But the fatalities and stuff are too graphic for... I'm sure you guys don't want to watch us play that game. So with SoulCal, it looks just like it, maybe not as intense fatality-wise, but it's a shame. It seems like the game developers ran out of money before they could have clothing on the women in the game.
Well, Nikki, it's very expensive to model
everybody
clothing
for everybody
digitally.
to get in.
Yeah.
So I don't know about Soulcalibur. I don't think that will work on that side of things because of the outfits.
All right, Google this and tell me what you think. What about Dead or Alive 6?
Dead or Alive?
See if you think that's a good choice.
Alive 6. Which one's that one? Oh, that looks pretty good.
Okay, you must not be getting the right pictures. I'm trolling you.
Never mind.
That's the...
No,
That
the
is
first set was fine.
That is famously known.
Where are their clothes?
Well, they don't.
The guys got them.
Are there even guys in Dead or Alive?
How could you fight with that? That's not practical. So I'm passing on that.
Okay, so no on that apparently.
That's a no.
Kyle says Octodad is a hilarious co-op game.
Someone said
not familiar with
there's
that
an
one.
old game called I Am Bread that might be funny, but I
love
remembered
bread.
we talked about these simulator games, how there's like a farming simulator one.
Come on.
There's a bee simulator game. We need to get that.
I still don't think, all right, let me check Steam here, Bee Simulator, because that was something that I put in my queue or whatever, like last year, waiting for it to actually come out because it looks so weird. It says it won't be out till the end of 2019.
Well,
they said spring last year.
I don't think that's ever coming out then.
Well,
maybe we should look
someday.
into a simulator game, like one of those styles.
I think Farm Simulator could either be really funny watching us play it, or we just get really mad at the game or each other and shut it down.
Brittany said Kingdom Hearts 3 gives me the combat aspect without the gore.
You know what, Brittany,
yeah.
first off, super appreciate you and super
And
appreciate you listening.
It's very
But,
nice of you.
That's a snoozer right there.
You didn't like it.
I bought it and played it. Snoozer. And
Didn't you, within 24 hours, you bought it, played it, and sold it?
Maybe.
Yeah, that was a record. That was definitely a record.
Maybe that happened. Paul says Mortal Kombat, and Olivia says, Goat Simulator.
We could do that.
There actually is a new Goat Simulator game on the way, I think called Goats of War.
Yeah, Boone also said Goat Farm Simulator. You know, I just feel like we're not going to make everybody happy. I don't feel like we're going to find a game.
My favorite part of the worst of the riot, when they shut up and the music starts. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
It is the riot on RadioU.
I am so excited for the chance to talk to Michael from Danger Scene because the new song that starts today on RadioU called Poison is my new favorite song. Yay!
Yay!
Woo! So this is Michael from Danger Scene.
Hello, Michael.
Good morning.
Hey, guys. Good morning. How are you?
We're doing very good.
So, Michael,
Awesome.
when you say poison, this song's not about coffee, is it?
No. It's not Matthew's favorite thing. It's actually about like poison and like things like poison.
Oh, okay. All right. So like an 80s metal band.
No, not that
Yes,
either.
It's all about 80s metal now.
Fantastic. Well, before we get into the song, because we've got the song and the video to talk about, how are you, Michael, the person?
I'm pretty good. It's been a really interesting last 6 months. But I've been doing a lot of working, a lot of writing. We've put a lot of work into our new music and stuff. That's coming out soon, obviously, and with this new song. But I'm happy. I'm good.
So with Poison, because with some bands, they're just going song by song. With Poison, are you looking then for more to go with it for an actual project, or is it still just song by song?
Currently, we're kind of doing song by song. We've had a lot of things holding us back from releasing a lot more music than as we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But we have some music done, and then we've got a lot of plans for recording a lot more music this summer. Hence all the writing and such.
So when you say you've got things that are holding you back from some of your release plans, are they things like Fortnite?
Oh,
is that what the problem is?
Still that?
Honestly, no. It's actually just been shooting music videos and just the whole planning process of releasing music. It's just been a lot harder than it usually is. We shot this music video for Poison, and I swear we had every single week or two we'd have something holding us back, and it would stop us from shooting for another month.
Oh, gotcha.
It was terrible scheduling / weather problems, and then doing little vacation. Matthew would go on a adventure for a week, and then we'd have to postpone everything.
I hear it's his fault.
We see that it wasn't Michael's fault at all.
Nope, I got that
too. It was
too.
Matthew's fault. I mean, that came through loud and clear.
I heard it too.
Loud and
least-
clear.
He's not gonna see this, right?
No, it's fine. This is just between you, us, and everyone listening right now.
It's
So
totally fine. No
one
big
will
deal.
send it.
Awesome.
Well,
No
we're
big
excited
deal.
that it got finished because today on RadioU, you can hear the new Danger Scene. This is Michael, by the way, from Danger Scene. You can hear the new song Poison, but if you also check out RadioU TV, so RadioU.tv or our RadioU Roku channel, you can watch the music video for Poison starting today too.
Yeah. So let's talk about that video. Is it fair to say, and maybe it's just because it's a red-haired girl running, but I thought about Run Lola Run when I saw it.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Not at all.
I don't actually know.
You don't even know what that is?
No clue.
Okay.
right.
No clue.
Good enough.
Wasn't it? It's an old German.
it's old, and it's German.
It's a German movie, and it's basically this girl with red hair who runs and she screams. And
Yeah. How can you not know about this 20-year-old German film?
don't be surprised.
My bad. Sorry, Obi.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Okay. All right. Do you know what Dance Dance Revolution is?
That's the whole point. I've been wanting, we've had this weird dream that we could have a music video that was based off of Dance Dance Revolution. I'm actually really, really good at Dance Dance Revolution. I don't know if you kind of caught that video.
We did notice that.
But
we did.
I did all the choreography myself, with the dance, which the steps, which has also been a dream of mine. And when I wrote the song, I was like, Matthew, I think we can do this. I think we can make this a Dance Dance Revolution based video. And he didn't say no. I was like, all right, let's go for it. So
I think
it took a lot of planning, and Matthew did some really, really great editing, and he's super creative with building things. So somehow we actually were able to do this and add it into our video. So it's kind of like a dream come true for me.
Right.
It worked really well with the song. I couldn't imagine anything else with it.
It does. Now, as Nikki said, you can see the video now at RadioU.tv, or it'll be kind of later today.
Yeah, for Danger Scene with Poison.
So when you say you're really, really good at it, where are you playing DDR these days?
Well, there's definitely not as many places to play as there used to be. I used to actually just have a bunch of games at home, and I had the pad at home. Me and my sister used to play all the time. It was actually a really good bonding experience, and it's a great workout.
It's a good exercise. It is.
People are shocked with how tired it will make your legs. And then you'll be out of breath after 2 songs if you're playing the harder stuff like I used to do. The only place I could play recently was there's a 24-hour bowling alley, and they had a DDR machine, and so I'd be like, guys, check it out. You're gonna be blown away.
But this very old machine at this 24-hour
Wait till you see how good I am in between games. It's going to blow your
just
mind.
trying to impress the ladies at 2 a.m. at a bowling alley.
That's right.
And how's that going for you?
I'm still single, but I think it's going to come around.
Just a matter of time.
Yes.
Just a
and
matter
it
of time.
doesn't mean maybe you met someone and it just haven't worked out yet. So maybe that time with the DDR thing will work out in the future.
Yeah. So DDR ladies, hit me up. Let's go dance.
Well, we're talking to Matthew from
Michael.
I'm sorry.
Matthew's
on
not here.
vacation.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking to Michael from
Yes.
Danger Scene. And the brand new video for Poison, it's on RadioU TV today.
It's really such a good song. You guys did a great job with it.
Thank you very much.
So, you know what? Let's get into it. So this is Poison.
And like we mentioned, check out the music video. See the DDR influence with it.
Mm-hmm. You won't have to squint for it.
You'll
will see
notice it. You'll notice it.
Yeah. So, Michael, thanks for getting up and hanging out with us this morning.
Thanks, guys. It's really great having me.
Yay! It's great having you too.
It sure is.
Having a bad day? Blame the Riot. Everyone else does. And in fairness, it's probably their fault. RadioU.
Oh my gosh, Mother's Day is Sunday.
Did you forget about that? I mean, you're prepared. You're ready.
Holy freaking crap. Did
These things sneak up on us.
Did they just decide that?
You know that. You got your mom something. You're good.
Oh, I was just pretending to not be
Oh,
ready.
you're teasing?
I actually am ready. I got my mom a planter, a potted planter.
Yeah, a planter. Yeah.
Plantered potter.
Not a planter, but a planter.
It was and I'm gonna give it to her.
Great.
So
You're really prepared and ready to go. You're bringing your A game to Sunday, and that's exciting to see.
Come on.
So if you missed, we had a chance to talk to Michael from Danger Scene. That is up if you want to watch that anytime. RadioU Riot on Facebook. RadioU Riot, it's up on our YouTube channel if you subscribe there. And, of course, our RadioU Facebook as well.
I still think that it's not a leap of logic for you to look at your mom and say, if moms are worth celebrating, remember, you wouldn't be a mom without me.
So you're supposed to get something too once. Do you want to plant her?
Okay, Nikki, let's talk for a minute. When you were little and your brother was having a birthday, what happened?
I always get something little.
You would get a little
too.
something
Just
for
a little
yourself.
Something so there was
Just a
no
little something.
jealousy.
Right. That's right. That's right. I can remember going with my stepbrother. He got to go to Toys R Us and buy toys, and it was like, you can have a little toy, so you'll shut up.
Pretty much.
Okay. So my thought is
That should be no different on Sunday.
I mean, all of a sudden, everything's about my mom. I got to focus on her. Focus on mom. Do mom crap you don't want to do. Go to restaurants you don't want to go to. Flowers. Who cares about flowers? And you got to dress.
Your mom might. So that you're doing it for her.
Wait. Can we get back on me for a minute?
Oh, yes, you're right.
And so, what about me, Nikki?
You have every other day.
Really?
Yeah, every other day. It's me day. It's you day.
It's not.
It's whatever you want to make it.
It's always you day. It's always Nikki day on the other days.
So
Mom's day and Nikki's day.
Is that it? I don't recall that being the schedule.
What about me? That's what I want to know.
You seem to be being just fine.
So okay, now we're judging. It's fine. All right. That's how I don't get a day. Nikki's like, I need a day. You don't need a day.
Fine, I'll get you a planter with flowers for Sunday. Will that make you feel better?
No.
Because we're going to treat you just like we treat your mom.
No, you have to treat me equally but different.
Don't know what to do then.
Can we have that discussion?
You want an iTunes, Amazon gift card?
Yes. Yes, I do. Thank you. Thanks, Mom.
Okay, son, you're welcome.
I'm glad that you finally understand now that you'd be nothing without me.
So make sure that everybody does the holiday right on Sunday.
And you know what? I want you to go home. I want you to have that talk with your mom.
It's going to be tough, but I mean, she's going to be thanking you later.
Some tough love, Nikki.
That's right.
She needs somebody to finally stand up to her. She spent all those years bossing you around, and now she wants something in return?
Listen, she's gotten soft since you moved out, and she needs that back in her life. She misses telling you what to do.
You want to know the truth? This feels like Communist Dictator Day. Like, have you given a card and flowers to your dictator?
No, it's your mother. Oh, you ruined the holiday. Your poor mom.
Yeah. See, how is it now? Mom must be sad not having anybody to boss around. By the way, I need to move back in.
That works out.
Things didn't work out with the traveling circus I joined, and if you would just accept me back.
I bought you these flowers, but I need to borrow some money so I can pay for them.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
so
you know
Sunday it is. Yes.
Nikki, all I'm saying is that Mother's Day brings out a lot of complicated feelings.
It does,
like
apparently.
many other holidays. But I'm sure that you and your mom are going to have a great time.
Dear RadioU, when I was a kid, my parents sent our dog to live on a farm in the country where he could run and play all day. I could ask them for the address if you need somewhere to send the Riot. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
So you've got a problem. You know, something's wrong with you. I am talking about me, not really you, but I want to relate our experiences together, right? So that's what you call a naked ask. It's where I drop the metaphor and just talk real talk, right?
Sure.
So you got something that's wrong with you, and then somebody comes along and they're trying to encourage you, and then they drop just that little. It's just a little. It's not a lot, but that little bit of like, you know, it's kind of your fault this happened.
A little dig.
You know, and they don't even mean to do it, but what they're trying. See, a lot of us in our world, we're like, good things happen to good people, bad things happen to bad people. And when something bad happens to somebody that we think that is quote unquote good, it rocks our own world so much that even when we go to comfort them, we have to make a little suggestion that it might on some level, in some way, be their fault. Maybe they were asking for it in some way, something they did, some kind of cosmic scale being balanced somewhere. Here's what I want you to know. You know what? Things that happen to you. I mean, I'm not going to say nothing's never your fault or ever your fault, because I mean, you know, if you got a speeding ticket because you were going 75 and a 35,
that's the fault then.
That's your fault. If somebody sexually abused you when you were a kid, guess what? Not your fault. There are a lot of things in this world that happen that aren't our fault. You get a disease, not your fault. Okay? You know, you're dealing, not your fault. And so I want people to know that, hey, it's not your fault. Like, it's not something you did. And if somebody suggests that it is, you don't have to smack them. You can just walk away. All right. But you know what you need to do is you need to, like, go ahead in your mind. I'm giving you permission, whether it's with a giant fake eraser in your head or it's a whatever, like, erase the words, take them out. It's not your fault. It's not fair. Nobody says it's not fair, but it's not your fault. And I want you to know that when you go to God and talk about life and whatever's going on and whatever you're dealing with, whether it's abuse or disease or like whatever it is about this ugly world, you can actually say to God, like, hey, this was not fair. And God's not going to be like, yeah. No, God gets it. He knows the places that we hurt. He knows how unfair life can be. He's not looking to place blame on you, and he's not going to encourage you with that little dig. Everybody loves that dig, right? God just wants to be there with you and help you. So look, whatever you're facing today, don't face it alone. A little honesty between you and God, and tell him. Don't be afraid to tell him, man, this sucks. And just talk it out with him a little bit. But I want you to know there's so many things in this world that just aren't your fault. Life just sucks sometimes, but you don't have to face it alone. Just say, Jesus, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I really need some help. That's as far as you got to take it. And God's going to be there with you.
If you're looking for a peaceful start to your morning, you should look somewhere else. It's The Riot on RadioU.
Now, keeping in mind that I haven't done this yet, but you guys also know that Nikki and I have a particular weakness, a weakness that I feel is born from our profession, and that is a weakness for headphones.
Yes, we do. Now you're like, oh, yeah, you guys like headphones. You don't understand. It is something that comes along with the job. We have our likes and our dislikes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the best headphones ever are the Sony MDR 7506s.
Now, I would say for our profession, I don't think that crosses over to just everyday wear. You know, I don't know.
You know what? I'll tell you that's wrong, too.
For gaming, I think it's great. But, like, if I just want to listen to some music at home, I still might lean towards more like an AirPod.
Don't you want accurate reproduction?
No, I don't need it then. I need it at work. I need that then.
Okay. All right. It's fine. But Sony's listening, Nikki, and they're mad at you.
Sorry. No, I love them for work. They're comfortable. We've used them for years. That is our headphones of choice.
Mm-hmm. Nothing made me feel more like a real radio person than when I bought my own pair.
You get them in a bag.
They come in this. That's right. And you're just like, dude.
Yes, I'm keeping them.
I'm real.
We have
this
our
is real.
studio ones, like in the studio, and then we have our upstairs ones for our desk.
Yeah, it's real, guys. But as Nikki mentioned, she's using AirPods at home.
Yeah, I use that.
And she's on her second pair now, just to make sure you know that she has the new ones. What?
Well, it's my third, but it's
How
the
is it
new
your
one.
third pair?
Well, I had the first one. I got them when they very first came out.
Okay.
And then I had them for a little over a year, and they developed. I must have washed them a few times, and so then I got a new one, and I was using those for a while.
How many times did you wash them? You know the number.
I don't. No, the middle
So
pair,
many times you forgot?
Well, I put them in my pockets, like if I'm just wearing them, and I don't have the case, and so then I'll put them in my pockets. And sometimes I take and I go wash the pants, and I forget they're in my pockets.
Okay, all right.
And then I got someone generously gifted me the newer ones, and so then I have those.
Okay. How do I get in line for that?
Well, it
The
was
generous gifting.
just my mom. I mean, I don't know if she's going to get you a pair.
You know, this brings us back to sometimes, like when your sister gets something, brother gets a little something
get
too.
anything. Well, you weren't with us, so you weren't there to get anything.
Well, I didn't get invited, did I?
Sorry.
I'm just saying.
You want one of my other two pairs? The
I
first
just
one
feel
doesn't
like
work anymore.
I just feel like when you and your mom hang out, you should call me more and invite me to go along.
Come to lunch.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, maybe I
remember
have some
that.
things to add to the conversation.
I will remember that.
All of this revolves around the fact that Skull Candy has just
I had
unveiled.
a pair of those a while ago. Long time ago.
I had a pair of wireless over-the-ear Skull Candy headphones, and they were spectacular. Great pair of headphones.
But I feel like they kind of went away from being, when Beats came in. Beats is just everything.
So, yeah, I mean, that is true. But, okay, I'm not saying Beats are bad headphones, but let's just say that they're more expensive than they are great.
No, they're fine.
I know that you need the logo to show people that
but
you're a real person.
Skull Candy used to be, tried to really make a name synonymous with headphones, and then Beats came in, and that just became another way to say headphones.
How many hours do you get out of your AirPods?
AirPods? I think it's maybe 8 or 10 hours.
That's a bummer. These Skull Candy ones, this is basically their answer to the AirPod.
So they're in-ear ones, they're not over the head?
Yes, they are. They're $80, or at least, depending on where you're looking at, it looks like they're about 80. And they only do four. You only get 4 hours out of them.
That's not enough.
It's not. I hate to be that guy, but that's not enough. Now they say that you get 4 total charges out of the charging case. Mm-hmm. So you listen to them, put them back in, et cetera, but man, come on, guys. You got to do better than 4 hours.
They are rated well for sweat, water, and dirt resistant. So they should do well if you use them on gyms.
Yeah.
Gym trips.
Oh, okay. Not people named Jim?
No, gym trips.
I thought you just thought people named Jim were dirty.
Gyms will like it too, but also if you go to the gym.
Okay. They look pretty cool. If you want a pair of earbuds that, aren't white, you want a black pair.
And they're $80, you said?
Yeah. I'd be interested in giving them a shot, but as I said, Nikki and I have a problem.
We don't need to buy any new ones.
And
we're good. I'm good. I'm
buying,
especially good.
I'm not buying any new ones. You are.
No, I'm not.
When the next AirPods come out.
Awful, terrible, horrible, pathetic. Someone grab me a thesaurus. I'm gonna need more words to describe how bad these guys are. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
What is the number one surest sign that Nikki should be a huge fan of Captain Marvel?
Because it's got a guy named Chris in it. Chris Evans? Oh, no, Captain Marvel.
That's Captain America.
I meant Captain America.
Yeah. No, you like Captain Marvel because...
I'm a girl and she's a girl.
Boom!
That's supposed to be what the marketing department at Marvel should expect, right?
Nikki, all this life you've lived, you haven't been a strong woman because you didn't know how.
Yeah.
Your mom didn't show you. The other women in your life couldn't show you.
Did the Wonder Woman movie not show me?
She tried, but she's not a Marvel superhero.
So I need Captain Marvel.
So women all over the world had no idea how to be a strong woman until
that movie
Captain
came
Marvel.
Out.
And if you did not financially support Captain Marvel by attending, you hate women. So, sorry, just some of the marketing coming out.
That's what we feel.
It just comes out. What am I saying?
I have not seen it.
Well, you know what, Nikki? I've got great news for you. The opportunity is coming up.
Is it free for me because I'm a woman? Do I have to pay?
No, you have to support them.
I have to pay more?
You have to support them because they're supporting you. Isn't it awesome when important things get co-opted for entertainment purposes to make money? It's exciting. So May 28th is when that's going to hit digital.
Yeah.
And then June 11th is when you can buy me the 4K Blu-ray.
I heard you there.
Just to celebrate our friendship.
Just to celebrate it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, the one thing I'll have to say is this brings up something that I am quasi-legitimately grumpy about when it comes to movie releases and stuff. Okay. May 27th is Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So
that's on Monday?
Right. So this movie comes out digitally on the 28th.
Why?
Why? It's digital. You don't have to ship it anywhere. You just have to make sure the server's turned on. That's it, right? Why not release it on May 24th? So, you might actually get me to pay for that going into Memorial Day weekend.
Then you could have the whole weekend when you're off, even on Memorial Day, to watch the movie. Why come out the day after the holiday?
That's exactly it. And I couldn't tell you how many times they have done that.
Wasn't there a game recently when we had a day off? And
yes. Yeah. What was it? I don't remember, but it came out the day after.
After you came back, it was you really wanted to have something during the holiday weekend.
I did, and they do that. They will stack a big. Oh, I might have been Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man on PlayStation 4. It came out the Friday after Labor Day, and you're just like, what are you doing? I have a 3-day weekend. I will buy it. I will buy it and play it.
Give it to me when I actually have time to watch and play it.
Come on, and they're like, no. We're not interested in that.
I would like to ask a studio's reasoning for that, if they even realize, hey, maybe if we went a few days earlier, we could get more out of it.
Do you think that that's a thing?
I don't know. Do they assume for Memorial Day weekend you wouldn't have time to watch it because you're doing a lot of family and barbecue things or something?
I guess.
So do they think it hurts because you wouldn't buy it by the time you do have free time?
Or maybe
because they're thinking we do more on holidays than we actually do. I think someone needs to tell them we try not to do anything.
Hey guys, I'd buy this. I'd so buy it because
I'd try not to spend as much time at the barbecue. I'd rather be at home watching the movie.
I'll be like, hey, I need to go home and watch this movie.
I don't know. It's one of those things.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. I would love to. They probably have a chart somewhere that shows, yes, but when you come back on the day after a holiday, you're so excited from your time off, you're ready to spend the money.
Well, yeah,
and that could be a thing.
Maybe you want to go back to that fun time you had for those couple of days off, so you're more willing to buy something. Could be a trick.
I don't know why they do it, but they do. So, Nikki, she's a girl.
I'm a girl.
So, Captain Marvel.
Should be buying that. And you said it's May 28th?
May 28th. The day after
Memorial
Day. The day after you have the free time.
The best day to buy a movie.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
By the way, it's the worst.